Hello, welcome to Meta Perfume. I'm Emily here once again with Twixie, and I'm gonna finish up my series on Hermes today with my entire Hermes collection. I did all of these one at a time or in groups, depending on if the bottle is the same, which often does not mean a ton of similarity between the fragrances, but maybe some slightly common thread to them. Anyway, I will get started with the first one I got the full bottle of. So I didn't have any Hermes fragrances until fairly recently. I went to Michigan, and on my way I picked up this sampler, and I kind of fell in love with everything and bought full-size bottles of the Rhubarb EDP, the Jardin Sur Le Nil, and then I bought two flankers to this Eau de Merveilles, and I have a tester of the Twilly. It's Twilly Hermes. I have the Eau Poivree. So let me just start with the Rhubarb EDP, since that was the first one I had. This is marketed to men and women. It is, Écarlate means scarlet. I looked that up in French, like the bottle. And it's marketed to men and women, but I think it leans feminine. The top note is rhubarb, middle note is red berries, and the base note is white musk. So I don't think it's super unisex. I think it's slightly more feminine, but it could be rocked by a man, because it's like a sour sweetness almost. It definitely smells like rhubarb. It's a nice, unique, fruity fragrance that has moderate longevity, moderate to low, I guess I would say. It's probably about 3 hours, so you can kind of go heavy on this. I'm gonna say this is probably not gonna hold up super well because of the longevity. It's not gonna hold up that well in the cold weather. So I would say probably better in spring through fall rather than winter, because you might have to put on a ton of it and might get lost in the cold weather. But it is lovely, it's unique, interesting, rhubarby. It's the most rhubarb, like true rhubarb scent that I've come across in a fragrance. Really nice. So I recommend, obviously I bought it, so I really like it. The rhubarb, Eau de Rhubarb Écarlate. And yeah, I'd say that's nice if you want something rhubarby. Next, I picked up the Jardin Sur Le Nil, which means a garden on the Nile. I also looked that up. I bought the full size of this. This is also a very unique and cool fragrance that is also marketed to men and women. I would say this one is a little more genuinely unisex. I might say it leans just slightly feminine, but not much. It's very interesting because it has citrus and it has vegetable notes that are unusual. So the top notes are grapefruit, mango, tomato, and carrot. The middle notes are lotus and rhubarb, orange, hyacinth, and peony. I'd say the florals take a real back note to the other notes. And there's some interesting, like the middle notes are lotus, bulrush, orange, hyacinth, and peony. So bulrush is kind of an unusual note. And then the base has musk, iris, incense, labdanum, and cinnamon. So it's a really complex base, and I don't get a ton of it. I get kind of the musk, but I think the other base notes are pretty well blended. I don't really pull the cinnamon out, but I think, you know, that contributes, that and the bulrush probably contribute to kind of, and the tomato and carrot contribute to how unique this fragrance is. It's just nice and light, interesting. Like I would say it starts out kind of citrusy with the grapefruit, the mango, and the fruit, and then there's like a little bit of saltiness with the carrot and the tomato. And then the rest of the notes, it's very complex, so they're all kind of balanced out to just make it this nice sort of light, refreshing, interesting scent. This is an Eau de Toilette. again, marketed to men and women. And I think also in the same kind of vein as the Ecolate, it's going to be better for the warmer months. It probably will get lost in the cool months, and I would say even more so like spring and summer rather than fall and winter. So yeah, that is Un Jardin Sur Le Nil. And I haven't tried any of the other Un Jardin, but I hear the La Lagune is very nice, so I want to check that out next probably. That is that. Next, I picked up a small tester of the Voyage Thereme, which is also marketed to men and women. This is an EDT. So I picked up the big one of this because loved it. And this one is definitely unisex, and I'd say it leans slightly masculine, but only a little bit. It's got top notes of cardamom, amalfi lemon, spices, and juniper berries. And if you put juniper in a fragrance, I'm like almost definitely gonna like it. I swear I love juniper in a fragrance. Then it's got middle notes of tea, green notes, and floral notes. And in the base, it has woodsy notes, musk, and cedar. So it's a little bit ambiguous with the green notes, the musk, or the floral notes, and the woodsy notes, but it's really lovely. It's like got that woodiness, a woody spicy, but it's not super woody. It's very well balanced with the different types of notes in there. The lemon, juniper, tea, green notes. The floral is very minimal. I would say I don't get a ton of the floral. And in the base, I pull out mostly the cedar, but that musk makes it still nice and just cozy. Yes, really love this. I'm gonna spray it just once. Voyage Thereme for men and women, and this is the EDT. That is a good one, very good one. Again, you can see my individual reviews of these all linked in the description. And then I got in the sampler comes the Eau de Merveilles. And while I was in the duty-free shop, I also smelled the Ombre de Mare. Oh, sorry. And that's this one, so I really like this, and I picked that up. And then I also was doing some research, and Mila LeBlanc inspired me to get the Ombre de Mare. So this original Eau de Merveilles, people say it's a skin scent. I would say it's kind of a subtle, light, slightly salty, slightly citrusy scent. The top notes are orange, a lemmy resin, which I think is what contributes to that saltiness, lemon, and then in the middle it's got amber, pink pepper, and violet. And then in the base, fir, cedar, Madagascar, vanilla, vetiver, and oak moss. No vanilla. So you see it's kind of like a woody, citrusy, spicy scent that kind of balances all of these notes and all this complexity in sort of a subtle way, so that people say it's like a skin but better, you know, kind of fragrance. I would say this is a little bit heavy for the hot weather, so I would preference this in fall and probably winter. I think it would show up a little better. I get a little bit overwhelmed by it in the warm weather, so I'm gonna pull this out on a cooler day. That is the Eau de Merveilles, marketed to women, although I do think this is fairly unisex, so I would say I'm kind of surprised it's marketed to women. This is the EDT, and I would say men could wear this pretty easily, unisex scent. The Ombre de Mare was another, this is a good winter scent. I think it shows up a lot better in winter. I bought it in the summer, and so I wasn't that keen on it until it got cool and I got to test it in the cool weather, but I like it better now. The Ombre de Merveilles, they don't say which is top and middle, but I would say the top is probably the labdanum and the patchouli. They say labdanum is a deep, powerful, leathery, and ambery note. The middle is vanilla, and I definitely get the vanilla, and the base is amber. So the most prominent note is amber, hence the name Ombre de Mare. And it does not smell very much like the original, the Eau de Merveilles. It's pretty different. A little bit warmer, a little bit more, you know, with the amber. There's no amber in the Eau de Merveilles. Oh, no, there is, but it's pretty subtle. And this is definitely heavier. So that is Ombre de Mare. I'd say this has pretty good longevity. I get like 6 hours, 7 hours out of this, and it's good in the winter time. And then my favorite Eau de Merveilles is the Ombre de Mare, and this one is a simple composition with black tea as the top, incense in the middle, and tonka bean in the base. And I think it might be like myrrh incense, because I've had other fragrances that have myrrh in them, and this kind of reminds me of that. It's really intoxicating. I love this one. This is perhaps my favorite. The Voyage Thereme is also a favorite. Both of the first two, the Rhubarb and the Jardin Sur Le Nil, all super good. But yeah, this one is just delicious. Very kind of tea. I'd say tea prominent, but a unique and interesting tea scent for sure with the tonka. I'd say that tonka isn't really recognizable as tonka. I do love a tonka note, but I wouldn't smell this and go, ooh, that's got tonka in it. So it's interesting, but more the incense and the tea come forward. So that is Ombre de Mare. This is an EDP and also marketed to both men and women, and I would say it's kind of right down the middle. Not leaning more feminine or more masculine. And then lastly, the Twillys that I have, was actually the very first Hermes that I put my nose on, and these are ginger, ginger forward. And the top notes are ginger, bitter orange, and bergamot, but you get definitely prominently the ginger. And that is over top of a middle of kind of classic white florals, tuberose, orange blossom, and jasmine. That will come through in the dry down, and then the base is vanilla and sandalwood. So it's a fairly feminine fragrance, given the florals and the vanilla and sandalwood base. Very nice. It's definitely dynamic with the ginger coming through first, and then the dry down kind of with the florals and the sandalwood and vanilla. It's pretty, it's unique, interesting. I think it's good for daytime, because it's sort of uplifting with the citruses and the ginger. And I could say this could be a signature scent. It could go all year round. Yeah, it's very versatile, the Twilly Hermes. And then my favorite Twilly is the Twilly Eau Poivree. I just have the tester of this, but this is also like spicy top, but not ginger. It's got pink pepper in the top. Hence the Eau Poivree in the name, which I believe means with pepper or of pepper. Oh, pepper, I don't know. I don't speak French. But the middle is rose, the base is patchouli. It's very lovely. Also pretty good longevity for both of these. I'd say like moderate, 5 or 6 hours on this one, and maybe 6 or 7 hours on the Eau Poivree version. So that is all of my Hermes collection. Thank you for tuning in. Merry Christmas, everybody. Today is Christmas Eve, so I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you in my next video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't, and take care. Bye-bye.